All right, Dad, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm David Grainger, and I started my teaching life in a single teacher school in remote Northern Territory on part of what was the biggest single privately owned land.
Yeah, where was that?
Place called Pigeon Hole, part of Victoria River Downs.
And whereabouts in the
Yeah,
Territory?
it was several hundred kilometres west of Katherine in the Northern Territory, over near the Western Australian border.
So how many kids were in your class when you started?
Okay, so the school, it was an outstation of a cattle station,
Yeah.
and there was small white community there of station management, head stockman, mechanics,
Yeah.
grader drivers, and an Aboriginal community, and all the kids came from the Aboriginal community.
Yeah.
So most days I'd have about 12 or 13
Yeah.
students aging from
Yeah.
5 through to about 13.
Okay. How old were you when you started?
I was 28,
28. How old are you now?
not 28 anymore. No idea before going there what it was going to be like. It was just an adventure.
Is that the attraction, that it was just so far off?
Yeah, when I was interviewed, I was asked if I minded working with Aboriginal people, and I didn't understand the question. Having worked with Aboriginal people in Western New South Wales in construction and farming,
Yeah.
but I had no idea how traditional the people still were. Purposes had their own language still, and would regularly catch food,
Yeah.
bush turkeys or goannas
Yeah.
or fish from the rivers, as well as collecting nuts and berries and,
Yeah.
and other foodstuffs.
How did they receive you when you first arrived?
So I was dropped off one afternoon, flown out in the single wing aircraft, about four-seater aircraft,
Yeah.
and dropped at the station airstrip and said, "Well, here's your school, here's the keys, see you later." And so I was it. I was the sole white person there.
Yeah.
And so at some stage I wandered down to the community to introduce myself.
Yeah.
And I can only say I only ever felt welcomed
Yeah.
by those people, and in particular I had Bobby Jimager, who was my groundsman, so he was employed by the department
Yeah.
to do caretaking work.
Yeah.
But mind you, he was an old man and not up for much. But and then the Anzac and Hector, who were the two remaining full-blood Billionara people, they were the elders of the tribe there.
Yeah.
And the kids.
Yeah.
So challenges.
I guess when you first started, from what you'd learnt, and then going in and teaching a class full of Aboriginal children from a culture you had no idea about.
Even the older kids had minimal reading and writing skills, minimal English skills. I couldn't readily attach much of what I'd learnt to actually working out there.
Yeah.
But I figured my role was to help those kids develop skills in reading and writing and arithmetic, so living skills.
Yep.
And but I suppose all I had to work with was their language, their stories, their country, but their attachment to their country so strong that was automatic. I was just thinking about the first. We went on an excursion.
Yeah, can you tell us a bit? We'll go into that now about. Like I said before, some of your your teaching strategies or your your memories from.
Well, I suppose, environmental print. I was thinking about when we actually went on an excursion, and for most of the kids, it was their first time out of the community. We went actually down to Ayers Rock. It was bicentennial year.
Mm-hmm.
And our first stop, because we travelled back roads, so the first town we hit was Tennant Creek.
Mm-hmm.
And in Tennant Creek, there was the Piggly Wiggly supermarket. And it was fantastic watching the kids work out that's what that language says on the shop sign, and it was hysterical for them that there could be a Piggly Wiggly supermarket. So a lot of what I did, we'd have stories, either stories the kids would tell, or we'd make stories up about whether it was making lemonade or little Morris falling out of the boat, or when we were doing numbers in the river and they'd have to guess what the number was.
Yeah.
But I'd create written on cards, flashcards if you like, but I'd also have them hanging in the environment, like we'd make trails around the school grounds.
So you had English text, I guess, within their natural environment.
Yeah, and wherever possible I would try to also have the language equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some correlation for them to help to try and predict what that word was.
Yeah.
But also for me. But it was also a great helping teach me their language. So we'd go on walks around the place and we'd play I Spy. And of course we'd play I Spy in language, but also in English.
Yeah.
And we do maths, the same directions.
How did you do maths in the boat, you were saying before, or in the river?
Oh, in the river, that was just a silly thing we do. You'd trace a number in the boat. So most of the kids would fit in the school tinny.
Like you'd drive the boat in the shape of a 6.
Yeah, or an 8, or a 1, or a 7, or a...
Yep. Is there anything else you could think of that might, I don't know, like examples of, how you incorporated their ontologies and with, your sort of Western, I guess our Western education? Anything, music, I guess, that you could think of that,
Music was one. I remember, like the Wiggles. They quite like the Wiggles. And so we again, the words we just, we'd print them out, put them in the classroom, and then try and have some language words, their own language words attached. But it was repetition. It was exposure to English. It was using song.
Yeah.
To those things.
Yeah.
How successful was it? I don't know, but it got there.
Were the kids engaged though? Did you ever have a lot of trouble of kids
kids used to wake me up at, they'd say at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's school time, David. So I figured that was a good sign that they were engaged. And
So for any of us thinking of even just teaching locally and working with Indigenous kids or going remotely, if you could sum it up into some advice.
Family, place, location, and acknowledgement of spirit world, I guess, too. Like whether it's dreaming story or they figure pretty large in that family connection.
Yeah.
Connection to land. I mean, it sounds a bit of a cliche, but I think it's pretty.
It's big.
Pretty true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And elders,
Thanks, Dad.